You're looking to make some changes to your 4Runner, but you don't know where to start. In today's video, I want to walk through 6 different modifications and accessories that I'd recommend starting with if you're looking to get your 4Runner set up for adventure. My number one recommendation, without a doubt, hands down, is going to be a good set of all-terrain tires. I've got a set of Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs here, but there are a number of good options that are out there on the market. This is, without a doubt, the best thing that you can do for your 4Runner. The 4Runner comes incredibly capable from the factory, with the exception of the tires, and you're going to be really disappointed with the tire performance if you're doing any off-road driving. With a set of all-terrain tires, it's going to be far more capable in mud, in snow, in ice, but not only for the off-road driving or the overland driving. A good set of all-terrain tires is going to result in a huge improvement in performance for driving around town. If you live in a climate that is cold, that's got snow or ice, all-terrain tires are 10 times better when it comes to handling in those inclement driving conditions. Now, on that same note, one of the best things that you can do to improve driving performance in inclement off-road driving conditions is to air down your tires. Airing down your tires or letting out some of that pressure is going to give you much better traction, whether it's mud, snow, ice, or even if you're doing like a little bit of rock crawling or going up some steep climbs where the surface is a little bit slicker. Letting out that pressure is going to give you much better traction. You're going to notice a very significant difference. Now, if you guys are anything like me, airing down your tires is kind of a pain. It takes time, it just is kind of obnoxious, and I try to avoid it at all costs, but sometimes it is the right decision. And again, improves that performance. It's also a really nice tool to have in the tool chest. If you get stuck and you can't get out, airing down the tires might be that extra little bonus that you need to get out. And that brings us to the Morrflate tire inflation system. This is a pretty cool product. I'll put a link to it in the description below if you guys want to check it out. This system basically comes with 4 valve connectors here, connect very easily by just flipping this guy up, and airs down all 4 tires at equal pressure. So that way you've got the same pressure in all 4 tires. It's got a digital gauge built in, so you can see where you're at with pressure when you're airing down. And then likewise, when you're ready to re-inflate, you can inflate all 4 tires at the same time and get them to that equal pressure. So it's a really handy system, makes the process a lot easier, a lot less, cumbersome, and quicker as well. And so this is a really cool product. Of course, with this, you're also going to need an air compressor. This is the air compressor that I've got. I'd recommend going with something bigger. It works, it gets the job done, and it's inexpensive. So if you're looking for a budget option, it's nice from that standpoint, but I'd say that when I air down, it probably takes me about 15 minutes to air back up with this. So if you want to do it quicker than that, recommend going with a larger compressor. Suspension upgrades are really fun, but they're also pretty expensive. I wouldn't say that they're absolutely necessary, but they are a nice luxury. I like them from the standpoint that they improve the look of your vehicle, they often improve ride quality, and then of course they also improve your off-road capability. I've got a set of Bilstein 5100 shocks on the 4Runner, and they're a really nice budget option, about $400 for all 4 shocks. Part of what makes them affordable is that in the front of the vehicle, they reuse the stock coils, but then in the rear, if you want to lift it up, you are going to need either blocks or replacement rear coils. With the 5100s, you can either leave it at the stock height, or it's got a few different settings to adjust the height depending on your preferences, so it's nice to have that flexibility. Few reasons for upgrading to the 5100s or other shock setups. For one, I think that the 4Runner's got a very soft ride. Not really crazy about the nosedive that you get when you brake pretty hard. And likewise, even if you're driving at like highway speeds on a paved road, I feel like the vehicle kind of sloshes around. It doesn't really know where it wants to sit. And having a suspension setup that's just a little bit stiffer improves that nosedive, so it's not dropping down so far when you're braking. And then likewise, for that highway driving, I just feel like it's got a nicer overall ride. The other nice thing about the 5100s is that they improve the travel from your stock suspension. And so what that means is you're keeping the tires on the ground more frequently. If you're on undulating terrain, sometimes one of the tires will come off the ground. Having better travel is going to help that suspension to drop down further and keep it in contact with the ground more frequently. That's good so that you've got traction at all 4 tires more more of the time. And then of course, the third improvement that you are getting with the 5100s or other lift setups is additional ground clearance. And so raising the vehicle up a little bit is going to help you to clear some of those obstacles. The other thing to keep in mind is depending on the tires that you go with, a suspension setup will sometimes help you to clear larger tires. So in this case, I've got a set of 285/70 R17 tires. Some people say that these fit their 4Runners with stock suspension. I'm a bit skeptical. When you're off-roading, I would imagine you're probably going to get some rubbing if you don't lift the vehicle. And so having that additional height is going to help you clear those larger tires. And then of course, the larger tires also give you a bit more of that ground clearance. If you guys have been around my channel for any amount of time at all, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of upgrading the stock halogen lighting on the 4Runner to LED lighting. I've basically upgraded everything on the 4Runner, the low beams, the high beams, fog lights, side indicator lights, blinkers, backup lights, license plate lights. Not only from a look standpoint is a huge improvement, going away from the kind of dated yellowish light that you get with halogen to a much cleaner, modern, fresh, bluish light or clearish light that you get with LEDs, but it's also a huge improvement in performance, not only from a safety standpoint, making your vehicle much more visible at night, but also making it a lot easier for you to see your surroundings, whether that's driving in town on paved roads or if you're on the back roads. Having LED lighting just illuminates your surroundings, makes it a lot easier to see the things that are around you, see obstacles on the trail, and strongly recommend that you consider upgrading to LED lighting. Now, I told you that suspension is an expensive upgrade. This is another expensive upgrade, but it is very handy, and that's going with a winch. Off-roading is a lot of fun, and it's great when you've got people to go with, but you don't always have people to go with, at least I don't. And so it's really nice when I go off-roading by myself to not be concerned about self-recovery. And that's where a winch is so important, especially if you enjoy off-roading in snow, going out into the backwoods. There are times when you get stuck and it is near impossible to get yourself out without a winch. And it's amazing how handy these can come in those difficult situations. What I've got here is the C4 Low Pro bumper. I'll put a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out. I've got a worn winch, and then it also has this cutout for an LED light bar. So I've got the Extreme LED light bar here. Again, I'll put links to all these products in the description if you want to check them out. This is a bit more expensive, although you can do the install yourself. I will put a link in the upper right-hand corner to my install video if you guys want to check that out. But this has been such a handy thing to have on my Tacoma, my FJ Cruiser, and the 4Runner. Just being able to go out into the backwoods with that peace of mind, knowing that if I get stuck, I've got this set up to help me to get out. And speaking of recovery, that brings us to our last item, which is a Rhino USA Recovery Kit. We've got our hitch mount, D-ring shackles, and toe strap. All really nice looking, high quality products. Again, I'll put a link to these in the description below. I've done other videos on the Rhino USA kit in the past, but again, highly recommended. It's a really inexpensive way to help yourself be more prepared on the trail. If you're traveling in a group, this is going to really help you to get out very easily by attaching the two vehicles together. I've also found it to be a really handy thing to just have in the vehicle at all times in the winter. I can't count how many people I've been able to help get unstuck just by having this kit in my vehicle out on the snowy roads, whether that's in town or out in the forest. Come across somebody that is stuck in an embankment or something. It's really nice to have the kit ready to go and be able to help people get out of those predicaments. So there you go. Those are the 6 accessories or modifications that I'd recommend doing first to the 4Runner to get it ready for off-road adventures. I'm sure you guys have some additional ideas, so let us know what those are in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for more Toyota videos, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.